Hello there, wrestling fans! Welcome to the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. I am your host, Joe the Panther Jr., and now introducing to the mic my co-host, the Happy Heel himself, the Metal Geek.
What's going on, Ringside crew? What's going on, everybody? What's going on, internationally known? What's going on? Yeah. Joe, how's it going, bud?
Wow. We're officially booked till to December, man. What do you think about that?
That's incredible, dude. That's really incredible.
Yeah. It's just crazy that wrestlers are just loving us so much.
Mhm.
Do you want me to announce the our guest today?
Yeah, go ahead. Do you want to introduce her?
Why not? This young lady is a rising star on the West Coast. Let's give a warm Dudes at Ringside Work welcome to Karisma.
I'm the one gal cheering section. How are you guys?
Good.
Great. Oh, welcome to Dudes at Ringside podcast. This is an honor. You're the second person we're interviewing on Lucha Week. You're our very first female wrestler. Hey, James. It's our friend James Axel TV. It's one of our best buddies.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited. This is only the second podcast I've done ever. My first video podcast. So I'm really excited. A little nervous, but I'm really excited to be here with you guys. So thank you.
Yeah.
And being in a family of wrestlers and one of that's a luchador, it's an honor.
Wow. I mean, thank you. I mean, there's, Lucha Libre has such a rich history that I don't even know. I haven't even scratched the surface of, what there is to know about the history of Lucha Libre. So I now learning it and getting a chance to do it myself is such an honor and a privilege, and I've learned so much. It's so exciting. So it's exciting to just be a little piece of the culture.
Well, my grandfather was the grappler. My cousin, I watched his stuff on YouTube. He's Frank Martinez. Not Frank. That's the other one I never got a chance to see because it's funny because it's sad too because my grandfather. I knew about my grandfather, but then the pandemic, I learned about Pete Sanchez, and I watched him online, and he was pretty much a luchador. He would jump. He would jump around. He was jumping around.
Yeah. Lucha Libre is it's really diverse. I mean, there's so much more to it than just the high flying pretty moves. It's now that I've gotten a little chance to get a taste of it, like there's so much more to it than just what you see, bouncing off ropes.
Yeah,
there's so much more, and it's fascinating. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to do.
It's so fun to watch. Like I watched that. I've watched like highlights of your stuff. You just you do a lot of like flipping around, but you also do a lot of like grapples too. You like arm bars and stuff like that. And
I try. I really try, but I don't. Fun fact. Currently at Pro Wrestling Revolution, which is Pro Wrestling Revolution Training Academy in San Jose, where I train, I am the only active female. So I'm training with, and I'm getting in the ring with all guys. I have actually still never wrestled another girl.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was gonna be my first question. Like, do you like? Which one do you rather wrestle, men or women? But you can't. You're like you're in your place you're in. You You just
I really I can't speak by experience, but I'm really excited. I'm excited to get my first taste of actually wrestling with another female, because there's, I mean, even with the guys that I trained with, there's just this sense of camaraderie and this sense of kind of family, that you have this bond and this connection over your passion. Um, but I feel like for females, right, especially right now, there's a deeper connection as far as like we have something to prove. Like we're setting out to prove that we're just as powerful, just as hard hitting, and that we can accomplish just as much as the men out there in this business. So I feel like there's a different kind of connection on that level. So I'm really excited to experience that.
so
Is there any training that you take, like, to wrestle a guy, or
I don't get treated any different or do anything different than the guys in the class. Literally, we get in line, we do our warm-ups, we work on our spots. You know, I get treated no differently than the guys. I get no special treatment, and I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good thing about it. You
cool.
should treat one person differently than another person when you're doing stuff you love. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Who created your gear, by the way?
Oh my goodness. So Grand Canoe creates all of the Pro Wrestling Revolution luchadors gear. Yeah, I think pretty much all of us right now, we've had our gear made by Canoe. He is currently making new gear for me, so keep an eye out. You'll see me sporting a new outfit in the next couple of months.
And you were showing us some masks earlier, you know?
Yes. So
before
yeah, Gabriel Ramirez and Pro Wrestling Revolution during the pandemic we weren't able to train, obviously. And Gabriel is such an amazingly creative mind and such an entrepreneur that his mind immediately was like, what can we do now? Like, what can we do while we can't train and put on shows? So he started lucha-masks.com, and all of us current wrestlers at Pro Wrestling Revolution have our own face covers. Of course, I had it upside down. So this was the first Karisma mask that was made. It's currently discontinued at this point, but it matches my current gear. And then the 2.0, Karisma 2.0, we are currently at the tail end of selling these masks right now. So I think there's like 2 left on the website maybe right now.
So buy them. Make sure you buy them.
So go get them real quick.
Buy them. Buy them now.
Yeah. And then, of course, my lovely husband, El Gavilan, has his own stuff out there as well.
That is cool.
Yes, I love Gavilan's mask. I think it's gorgeous. There's a couple of different colors out there. But yeah, Gabe did a fantastic job of not only giving back to us by creating these masks that were us, that gave us something to promote, but just keeping us afloat and keeping us relevant during the pandemic, which was really hard, I think, for a lot of independent wrestling companies to do during the pandemic. It's like, if you can't train, you can't put on shows, what can you do? And Gabriel found a really great way to figure out what we could do. So we are really grateful. I'm very thankful, and I'm excited because us staying relevant during the pandemic is just going to make it that much more exciting when we come back to doing shows.
Yeah, 100%. Mm-hmm. Oh, actually, I want to announce this to the fans now, and it's kind of early to say this, but Karisma will be back on Dudes at Ringside podcasts on calendar flip. Where are we? Oh, she will be back on December 10th.
Same time.
Same time, fans.
That's-
Karisma will be back.
Right before my birthday, we're gonna do a
Early
little.
happy birthday show.
Yes, we're gonna do Dudes at Ringside podcast birthday celebration.
Yes.
Dudes at Pizza podcast.
Yes.
It's gonna be my 30th birthday.
Wow.
So we're gonna have to celebrate my dirty 30 on here. Yes,
Yes.
with lots of pizza.
Oh
Lots
God.
of pizza.
Wish we could do it in the same location. Like come to Lance's apartment, we'll go to pizzas, have your husband come over, we have like a big
know that would be awesome.
big
Someday.
lucha party. Make it a lucha party. You know what I mean? Big lucha
Yes.
party.
There's nothing better than wrestling and pizza.
Yes. God.
Wrestling pizza party.
So yeah. Well, what kind of like calisthenics do you do like to like get yourself before like a few days before a show? Like what kind of like workouts do you put yourself through?
Yeah. That's actually a really great question that I'm excited to answer. So one of the things that I did during the pandemic also was that I became a personal wellness coach. So I currently do workouts with a company called Beachbody. And Beachbody has, oh my gosh, it's so diverse. But I do things like PiYo, which is a combination of Pilates and yoga. And that is what I do a lot for kind of my muscle toning and strength building. And I get my cardio in. I like to go for runs. I'm not a great runner. Like I'm not a speed runner by any means. But we have a really nice trail really close to where we live. So I love to just pop in a podcast or a playlist and just go run until I can't run anymore.
Yeah. Where I live in Parthenope, Pennsylvania, we actually have a lot of places to hike. And like there's a place right above my town called The Knob, and they like you could see the whole. You look down, and you can see the whole town. It's a town. I live in a small town.
Okay, yeah. I have an uncle that lives in New Hampshire, and he says like there's a spot out there close to his hometown where you can look out over the hill and see all of Boston at the bottom.
Wow. Thunderfeet, that's our friend that we went to college with.
Oh, fun. I know, I saw my girl Ruby out here a second ago. Ruby is our Pro Wrestling Revolution ring announcer. So
hey,
she's out here supporting me.
Well, we have some also more big news. We will also be having another ring announcer coming on our show named Larry Legend.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Fun fact about Karisma, I got my start as a ring announcer.
Oh wow!
I did up until my debut as Karisma. I was the ring announcer for Pro Wrestling Revolution.
Now, if any promotion, I know you work with guys, right? So if any promotion asked you to work a match with your husband, would you consider it or?
Absolutely, in a heartbeat.
You'd beat him.
I'd certainly try.
Because I know B. Priestley and Will Ospreay, they wrestled each other during the pandemic. I don't know if you saw that.
I haven't watched that match, no.
Yeah. Will won, obviously.
I can imagine, though, it was probably pretty epic.
Yeah, it was great, though.
Know what? I think I saw highlights of the match. Now that you tell me this, it sounds familiar. But, yeah, I would love to wrestle my husband. While we were training during the pandemic, during the time when things were kind of starting to reopen, like before the Thanksgiving and holiday season, we started to reopen by appointments, like making appointments for us to train individually. And because my husband and I live together, obviously we had a little advantage and we were able to train together and get in the ring together. And so we recorded some kind of mock matches and did some mock matches. And I would love to actually wrestle my husband live someday.
If any promoters are listening, there you go.
Karisma versus Gabby Love.
We are actually having a promotion from Alabama coming on our thing called Liberty Wrestling.
Wow, y'all have Oh my gosh. I mean, like you said, you're internationally known, and just
Yeah.
like I know that I have seen, promos for some of your guests from England. I think I saw a girl from Scotland, was it?
Yes.
Scotland,
Like
yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Germany now.
Now Germany, we have to have him redo his promo because he put the wrong date. He put September. He put the 28th, and I'm like, this guy will break my bones. Snap me. He'll snap me like a toothpick.
Oh no.
I'm only 130 pounds. He'll throw me across the ring like a French fry.
Oh no.
Like Big Show, Rey Mysterio, and WCW. Right?
Start.
Well, hey, I'm 110, and I can hold. Well, I think I can hold my own in the ring for the most part. So if I can do it, you can do it.
I've always wanted to learn how to wrestle, but if I lived on the West Coast, I'd probably, me and you and your husband would probably become best friends. I think he'd be like, he'd probably be so honored to know that my grandfather was an old school.
Oh, I'm sure.
You should tell him that. He'd be like, your Joe Panther Jr., that's his grandfather.
I'll let him know.
Not only is the show internationally known, luchadors are internationally known too. I don't know if you noticed that too.
This is
because they have a Canadian luchador, they have a Japanese luchador, they have, and now we just interviewed actually an Australian luchador on our show.
I saw him. I saw his promo. I was like,
he's cool.
Oh, this is kind of cool. Like, it's not two things that you would necessarily think would go together, but like I watched this promo and I was like, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's like
he told
us that he's not the first Australian luchador. There has been others, but we were pretty much the first podcast to interview him. So so
we had a girl. She's coming back again. She's from England, and she was so nervous. She was talking so low. She was a young girl. She was like she was our youngest person we ever interviewed.
Wow.
But she was a doll. It was literally, she was a doll. Her thing is she had a little unicorn with her.
Oh.
Yes. George the unicorn
is over. It's over now.
He was so over on the podcast.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Yeah.
George was so over.
Thanks for the support, by the way.
Yes. Aw, I love seeing all the comments and stuff on here. I love, it's so fun that you can actually like see people interacting with the podcast live.
Yep.
I love that.
That's what we do here at Dudes at Ringside.
I love it.
It was so cool when we first messaged you. It was like, oh gosh, she's not gonna answer. Is she seen it? And then, she wants to come on. Oh, cool. Okay. Because originally it wasn't gonna be Lucha Week. It was just gonna be random, and then more and more people. Thursday opened up, and then I was like, "Geek, I'm gonna have to call it Lucha Week." He's like, "Okay." Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, with respect to coming on the podcast and like answering, messages from people you don't know on Instagram, it's like you have decided to go into a business where your job is to entertain people. Your job is to interact with people who look to you for entertainment and for excitement and for fun. So the fact that, like, why wouldn't you want to promote yourself? Why wouldn't you want to put yourself out there? Why wouldn't you want to interact with your fans, the people that actually like take the time to invest in you and care? Like, why wouldn't you exploit that?
You don't know who's watching.
You never know.
You never know who's watching. I said,
Exactly.
like you don't know, like WWE or AEW could be watching this podcast right now on Facebook and say, "Oh, what's this?" And then they'll be watching it. You never know.
Even cooler, like what if Ring of Honor is watching and they look up your name and they're like, Karisma, she'd be good in the women's division in that tournament we're doing.
Yeah.
And boom, who knows?
You never know. And there's opportunities in places that sometimes you would never even think. I mean, I never would have guessed that I was gonna go into wrestling. Like if you had told me 8 years ago that I was gonna walk into a wrestling training academy and watch a student showcase and be like, okay, I want to sign up. I'm ready. Like I would have said, what the heck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When I first started training, I walked into that.
There you go.
I walked into Pro Wrestling Revolution and like, I'll answer this question. I promise. I see it.
All right, we want to hear this story.
Fellow wrestler too. He's from he's one of the other guys we did our promo. That's Riley Majors.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. So I'll finish the story and then I promise I'll answer this question. I promise.
That's okay.
So I walked into Pro Wrestling Revolution. It was I want to say it was 2015 or 16, something like that, and I just went in to watch a student showcase, and my parents, before I went, both my parents were like, now don't sign anything today. Don't pay any money today. Don't do anything. Don't make any decisions. And I came home and I was like, I signed up. It was a month before I was graduating college, and my parents were like, finish college, you have a month to go, don't sign up for anything until then, finish school, and then do whatever you want. And I came home that day and I was like, so I start on Wednesday.
Shoot.
Okay, in my opinion, what's the best match that I've participated in? So like they said, I'm still like I'm very up and coming. I'm still very green, very, very green. But my biggest match, which I would say is my favorite match so far, is February 2020, right before the pandemic hit. Was my big show. Pro Wrestling Revolution puts on. We have kind of smaller like outdoor productions that we do for like festivals or and things like that, and then we have our big time shows, which are indoors. We have our own, lighting and sound and cameras and the stage set up and everything. Last year in February 2020, we had a show before the pandemic hit at Mount Pleasant High School in San Jose, California. And it was a 6-man tag and woman. And I went head to head with Dr. Salvaje, and that match just fueled my fire so much because I felt like I was seen as a joke by him. He did things in the ring to me, like, he had me in a hammerlock, and then he'd like take me and like tickle my backside, and I'm like, is that all you think I am? Is just like a pretty face with hair and a skirt on? Like, I'm ready to show you that I'm so much more than that. And it fueled my fire. So that 6-man tag was amazing. Unfortunately, we did not win that match. But it was probably, that was my best match, I would say. And my favorite match was, we were doing productions for Gordon Biersch Brewing Company, and we were providing entertainment for their beer tastings, for their Mexican lager. And we put on a production for that was directed to my dad. At the time, my dad was at the tail end of a battle with lung and brain cancer. and it was the last time he was probably going to see me wrestle. And Gabriel said, we're going to do this for your dad. We're going to put this on so that your dad can see you wrestle, so he can see you get in the ring and see what you do. And we made space for him and wheeled him in the wheelchair, and he got to see me wrestle. And that was my favorite match, because myself and my partner for that match, Don Gordo, we won the match, and the first thing I did was get out of the ring and give him a big hug. And I have that on camera, and it's one of my favorite moments, seeing myself and my dad hug and seeing how proud he was and how happy he was. So that was an amazing experience that I'm so thankful for. And now every performance that I do, my dad fuels me.
Is there anyone you would like to work with, like at your dream match, or like first like anyone like currently in your promotion, and then AEW, WWE?
Yeah. Well, let's see. Let me start with like AEW, WWE. I have always been a huge, and so many people will cringe when I say this, but my favorite female wrestler is AJ Lee. And I know she's retired. But she was somebody that I looked up to when I first started training, and because she's this, petite little thing, but she packs a punch. And I was like, she was one of those girls that made me be like, I can do that too. So if I were to ever be able to get in the ring with her, it would like, dream. But that's the mark in me coming out. Current WWE or AEW, I absolutely adore Bianca Belair. She is a powerhouse. She's a great example for girls, not just girls, but girls of color who have a dream. Any girl that has a dream, she's just a fantastic example. But also, she is powerful. She is strong. She has this this flair to her. She has this spark to her persona that I love. So not only would I love to get in the ring with her, but I'd love to learn from her. And then let's see. Outside of that, at Pro Wrestling Revolution, we have been trained by so many fantastic trainers from all around the world. And one that we have been trained by is Lady Apache.
Lady Apache.
I love her to death. She is like, she's like a wrestling mother figure. I love her so much. She was such a support to me. She was out here training us when my dad passed away. She was such a support. She's taught us so much. And she is our current Pro Wrestling Revolution Women's Champion. I would have, I'd be silly if that wasn't my answer. Mm-hmm. Because there's not a lot to choose from, as far as in our promotion, and she's our champion. So I would love to get in the ring with her, whether it's as an opponent or as a partner, because she's amazing. She knows so much. She's so talented. So I love her so much. I love you, lady.
You can tell her about the podcast. We're always looking for guests.
Yeah.
I'm gonna publicize the hell out of this. Like, I'm so excited to be here, and I'm so excited that this podcast gives a voice to, wrestlers who, like, I wouldn't have known about an Australian luchador. Like if it weren't for this, like how would I know? Being out here in California, how would I know? So I love that you guys are bridging, a gap across oceans. I think that's and for something that we all have a passion for. That's amazing. So I'm totally like, I'm all in. I'm like, yes, dudes at ringside, have a listen, come on the show. Yes.
And also, when you come back in December, your husband can come with you. It'd be an honor to have him come too.
Ooh, that might be dangerous. But
why?
I'll have him join us at least for a guest appearance.
Is he a heel? That's why.
No, he's a face. El Gavilan. He is el maestro de la salsa. He's got the rhythm deep inside.
Oh God, he's gonna make Joe start dancing because that's my trademark. I like to dance.
Exactly. Yes.
Like in Beetlejuice, when he starts singing Deo and they all start dancing.
Yeah, he's got a rhythm in him that's just he brings excitement to the ring. When he comes out, and the song that he comes out to is No Te Metes Con Mi Cucu, which is a very well-known song in the Hispanic culture, and he just makes everybody dance, including me.
I would say, like, I wish your organization can come, like, tour on the East Coast, like to New York or like Pennsylvania. I'd be down if you guys came to New York.
We have definitely traveled. Let's see, not last year, 2019, end of 2019, we were in Washington. We've been to Arkansas and Texas. We've been outside of California, definitely. Pro Wrestling Revolution does Dragon Mania in Mexico.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so we get around, we get out there. But I would love to do New York. I love New York. I love New York so much. I've only been there once, but I've been craving to go back ever since. So.
Well, you do this. Well, if you don't mind with the show, we'll give you our numbers so you could talk to us anytime you want.
Let's do it. And next time I'm in New York, we'll go grab a slice of pizza.
Some pizza, hang out.
Lucha Pizza Podcast.
Lucha Pizza Podcast. Yes.
You like? I know you said pizza. Do you like tacos?
I'm not a huge fan of tacos, so I'm not a big meat eater.
Oh, okay.
And that's not necessarily by like I'm not vegetarian or anything. It's just kind of a preference. Yeah, I'm just not. I'm not a big meat eater, so it's really like it's contradictory that I have, my husband is, El Gavilan. He's he actually came here to the States from Mexico, so he was born in Mexico. So it's kind of silly to see, like, he'll be over here eating he'll be over here eating tacos and I'll be over here eating macaroni and cheese. Like you wouldn't think that it would work, but somehow it does.
There's a place that's near my house that's like, it has like burgers, it has chicken tenders. They have really good mac and cheese. They give it to you in like a bowl, like a big tin, and they have like lobster mac and cheese. They have extra cheese mac and cheese. They have yes.
Wow.
Chicken bacon ranch mac and cheese.
Chicken bacon ranch mac and cheese.
It looked phenomenal. I didn't get it, but it looked phenomenal.
It's so funny how there's foods like that you're like, it doesn't sound like it goes together, but somehow it does.
Yeah.
Okay, I see a question. If you could book your dream heel turn, how would it go? I don't think I could be. Oh gosh, I'm too nice.
That's what I said about Bailey.
What?
That's what they said about Bailey.
Yeah, no kidding.
Ding dong.
No kidding. Gosh, if I could set up my dream heel turn, I it's funny, but I would probably love for it to be against my husband.
That's happened before.
I think that's a hilarious, like, that's the most unexpected heel turn that I would think of. And the fact that, you know, both my husband and I are faces, it's right there.
It's actually happened in NYWC. Actually, you want to tell the story, Joe, or no?
Oh yes, one of my favorite indie wrestlers on Long Island. She lives in Jersey, but Foxy and Damian Dragon are my two favorite indie wrestlers because they got me really into NYWC. They're gothic characters. Well, Foxy, I didn't. Oh, you don't know what's gonna happen. It's part of the storyline.
Right.
She low blows him and turns on him, and I run in the back. I had my face like that. No. No. I run in the bathroom, start crying. And then next show, I come back, and I'm like it sounds weird, so characterly infatuated with her. I even made the shirt that says "I heart a black heart, Foxy."
Oh no.
And she's like, Joe. She's like, Joe, what's up? It's like that TikTok thing. It's like and she's like, Joe. And the smoke's like spilling out of her lip, and she's like, Joe, no, go. I'm like, why? I'm a heel now. No, Joe. And I'm like, it's like my heart broke like Nelson's did in The Simpsons when Lisa broke his heart. And it just broke. You can see his heart. I could see his heart breaking right here, as Bart would say.
No.
My heart was like breaking as if she was like, Joe, no, you gotta go. You can't. I'm like, but I made you a shirt. She's like, I'm a heel now. Joe.
Go. Say go away.
No, go away. Pretend like I yelled at you. Go. And then I saw her again in the hall, like we started talking. She's like, Joe, you can't hang out with me. I'm a heel. I was like, I could see, and Bart says, I could see his heart breaking right there on this.
Oh no. Oh man. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I'd give my husband a low blow, but I'd find something good.
Do you follow the old Lucha Underground or?
A little bit. It's been a while.
All right. If Lucha Underground asked you, well, the new one, which with MLW Aztec Underground, would you accept it or? Considering all the rumors that they had and everything.
You know, I'm in a place, not just with where I'm at in my wrestling life, as far as where I'm at in my training, how long I've been training, and just where I'm at in my life in general. I feel like to deny at least an opportunity would be silly. One of the things that our owner and promoter Gabe Ramirez says is closed mouths don't get fed. So if there's an opportunity in front of your face and you don't take it, then, you know, poo on you. That's your fault.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like there's no, you know, opportunities come around that may not ever come again. So, you know, seize the moment and give it a try. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but at least you'll never be saying, oh, what if I had said yes to Lucha Underground?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what if I had gone out there? I
It opens
what would happen.
It opens the doors to other opportunities
It
as
does.
well.
Yeah, and when it comes to the wrestling business, I don't think there's such thing as bad experience. you can have a bad experience, but there's no such thing as bad experience.
Mhm.
Like everything that I've encountered in wrestling has been a learning and growth opportunity for me. And being a luchadora and being, training to be a wrestler has made me such a different person. And that's because of the experiences that I've had, whether they've been good or bad. I've learned.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So we noticed in the background you and your husband collect pops. Do you have them like all over the place like Geek does, or is it just like in that one spot?
Not all, we have them kind of all over this wall.
I don't have them all over the place, Joe. I have them on a table.
That's kind of like all over the place, Geek. Think about it. He got a Hulk Hogan
we
one.
have them on this wall, and for now they're isolated to this wall, but I'm sure there's more coming.
Did you ask the guy that does the mask if he can make you into a pop? Because I saw that he's been making pops at a luchador pops.
Oh my gosh, wouldn't that be fun?
I'd crack the piggy bank to buy myself a.
That would be the cutest Funko Pop ever.
Would you make it like this? Would you make it like this?
Like, dude, yeah.
That.
That would be so cute. I mean, don't they sell like those little things where you like a blank Funko Pop where you can make your own?
I've seen that. I don't know. I think it's in California at the Pop building or.
I've
place?
seen them in stores, but I'm not sure which ones. But maybe that's something to think about.
Maybe that's something I need to invest in, because I joke with Geek all the time that I totally could see a little Joe Panther Jr. with his little black hat on and his little red glasses.
Little red glasses.
Like this is like a Joe invention, like, because I didn't have glasses when I started the show. I did, but they had lenses in them, and I painted the little paw prints in the corners.
Oh, fun.
And Geek got mad at me. He's like, Joe, they're gonna make fun of you. You look stupid. I'm like, it's my gimmick.
It's my gimmick.
Gimmick. The red glasses. I really do wear glasses. And I'm like, the glare would ruin the whole thing on the camera.
Yeah, because you see the reflection, the screen reflection. Yeah.
And my mom goes, you're gonna make yourself blind wearing those glasses. My other version of the pop I was gonna do is I was gonna have my guy sitting in a chair. You know, the pop don't have emotions; they're just like this.
Yeah.
I was gonna have my guy sitting in a chair, with the top with the collared shirt like I wear, with my little black hat, my red glasses, and just an image of Geek on the screen. And it's just me staring at a computer screen, sitting in a chair. But on the bottom, it's just me with shorts on and no shoes on. Because otherwise, right now, you just see me with the collared shirt. Underneath, I'm wearing a pair of shorts and no shoes.
Do it. I bet you could find the blank ones like on Amazon or something.
I would have to get a little chair to put them in, and have like a fake laptop. Like the whole thing.
It could be done.
Get a microphone, put a little microphone next to him, just like.
Oh, you have a whole little like scenery setup.
Actually, I actually have 3 pops. I have Egon Spangler from Ghostbusters right above me by the Ecto one. I have a picture. I met Zack Ryder before he became big in Long Island at his NYW New York Wrestling Connection, which that is another promotion. If you ever had moved, I'm not saying you would move to New York, but if you and the Hubs moved to New York, definitely try to go to New York. And I have this one that my friend got me for my birthday. Zack Ryder pop. I freaked out. I fanboyed out. I was like,
I fanboyed out.
Because I met him. It's like when you meet somebody when they get big, it's weird. It's like not weird, but for me, it's like.
Yeah.
Joe crushes on the broski hard.
Hey, and Crush Monday.
I'd hang out with him and stare at all his toys. I'd be like, and it's funny, if I ever meet him again, I'm gonna ask him and Kurt Hawkins to see if we could do like, you know, that thing on TikTok that I'm just a kid and they have the picture.
Oh yeah.
I'm totally doing that with them. That I'm just a kid and life is a nightmare. have me in the middle, like in the picture you saw, and then have me.
Yes.
It happened again.
That's classic. I love that.
I'll have to see if Zach could be like, fine, we'll do it.
Also, Joe, what are those belts behind you? Let's hear about your belts.
That is the wrong way. Dang it, that is the WWF old school WWF title, and that's the SmackDown title. See, you, Karisma, you've never watched any other episodes. There's a thing I do on the show with all our wrestling guests. Did you grow up in what era of wrestling did you grow up in?
You know, I didn't really start watching until I started training. I'm not one of those girls that like grew up watching wrestling. I was born in the early 90s. So I know that like that would have been the perfect time to grow up on wrestling.
Mm.
But I didn't, sadly.
Oh, I was about to do the Howard Finkel for you, but if you want to hear it?
Let's do it.
Coming down the aisle from San Diego, California, Karisma.
Yes. Do you have any stories from the ring, or?
Do I have any stories from the ring?
Or stories in general that you could tell?
Oh goodness. Like I said, I'm still very, very green. But oh goodness. Well, I have some injury stories they're only funny because unfortunately I'm the one who I'm the one who the injuries happen because like it's my own fault. It's my own fault. It's a terrible affliction that I have. But let's see. A story in itself would be like just meeting my husband. Like my husband and I both started training. I want to say, I think I said 2016, something like that. I was at the beginning of the year and he was at the tail end of the year. And we were in the same training together for 2 or 3 years before we even like thought about hanging out outside of training. And it kind of just was like, hey, you want to hang out? And we'd hang out at shows and stuff, but nothing more than friendly. And then we just it was just something that like after 3 years of seeing each other multiple times a week and locking up together in the ring and training together and beating the crap out of each other, that we were like, maybe there's something more there.
Oh, so you could say it was a lucha love affair.
There you go. A lucha love affair. I love that.
Lucha pizza party.
A lucha pizza party. There's the next big lucha tag team. Not lucha house party. Lucha pizza party.
Lucha pizza party podcast.
Yes. They come
I'm saying you come to New York. We'll get the camera set up. We'll get 3 microphones, and then we'll order different pizzas and see which one's the best pizza in New York.
Okay, so here's a question. I because you live in New York and on the East Coast, is New York style pizza really the best?
Definitely.
Oh my God, yes.
I agree. I mean, living on the West Coast, I agree. I'm not like a deep dish fan or anything. I can't stand deep dish, to be honest.
So if Geek and I ever came to the West Coast, we would I guess we have to head up your area. You and your husband could show us around and show us the training facility and stuff like that, if you could. I don't want to get.
Yeah.
Marauder agrees, by the way.
What?
Marauder agrees. Said New York pizza is the best, by the way.
Oh, okay.
To hell with deep dish.
I mean, I agree. Honestly, I'm right up the street. We have an East Coast pizzeria, It's like super thin crust.
Ooh.
And it's the best thing in the world.
The
I'm a thin crust kind of gal. I don't like, thick crust or deep dish. It just doesn't do
The
it.
thing is, for me, like my dad being growing up in the city, if you say this to the pizza guy and they're really East Coast, they'll like tell him this. I'll take it Brooklyn style. That's crispy. That's crispy. Tell them I want it Brooklyn style, and then they'll do it. Trust me, they do it for us at our pizza place every time.
Okay. I'm not a crispy kind of person either.
Ah.
Yeah.
You wouldn't like that.
I like it so that I was telling you the other night that like I was making a homemade pizza.
Yeah.
I love making it so that like you barely even have to chew it.
Ooh.
I love that because it's just you can just sit there and indulge in the flavor.
Yeah.
That's my style.
Do you buy the dough or do you go to like the supermarket and get the dough?
No, I make it myself.
Ooh.
Yeah, I just flour, yeast, sugar, salt, let it rise for 15-20 minutes and then pile some sauce and cheese and whatever else on there, and there it is.
That's cool. Now we know. Now we know. You have Karisma over. We're not gonna buy the pizza. We're gonna make our own.
We're gonna make our own. Yeah. Yeah. You totally diverted your question.
It's all right. The
sorry.
stories.
I send Geek your clip, so we could probably play it right before the end of the show.
I have to do it. I would have to do it the next show because
the next show. Yeah, the next one. I'll post it on Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah, so everybody will be able.
They might still flag it for the music.
Is it in it? The one you sent?
Oh, not the one I just sent. No.
The one you just sent.
Yeah, that one we can totally. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's.
So, fam, there's gonna be a fun video going on Instagram when the show is over. I'll prep it because you can always funly prep the.
Get a little taste of Karisma.
Oh yes. I almost got.
I'll upload it to the StreamYard for the next show. So we'll have it for the next show.
Awesome. Okay, so stories. Gosh, let's see. So traveling stories are always the best. So we went out and did a show in Arkansas and Texas. So we were doing the show in, I think it was Springfield, Arkansas. And then the next day we had a show in Texas. And we did the show in Springfield and everything went great up until like I think this match was the main event. And one of our managers who went along took a super kick bad and didn't, it got him like right in the hand, square in the fingers.
Oof.
And I got to be his taxi to the ER that night.
Oh.
So sitting in an ER at midnight, 1 a.m. in Springfield, Arkansas, and not knowing where or who anything was. Yeah, that's some of these things that are just like experiences that you would never have if you weren't traveling for wrestling. Going to Seattle, that was amazing. A couple of our guys did a show in Seattle, and then we had another show in Pasco, Washington the next day, and it's like a 3-hour drive, and our Gabriel tells us, okay, your call time is 2:00. Be there at 2:00. So we are hauling butt to get out of the hotel, get breakfast, go get on the road because it's a 3-hour drive. We get there. Naturally, we don't get there on time because, when you're driving for wrestling.
Traffic.
Yeah, it doesn't happen. And when you have no clue where you are. So we get there. It's maybe like 3 when we get there, maybe 2:45 or 3 or something.
Ooh.
And we get to the hotel where we were going to meet everyone, and they're just chilling in the lobby of the hotel where they were staying. And so we go and we sit down and take a load off for a minute, and we turn to them and say, "So, what time are we supposed to be at the venue?" And they go, "Oh, 5:30."
What?
Oh,
Like, what are you saying?
So they told you to be there by 2:00, and then and then they said 5:30. So
yeah.
so now, when you were in training, did you consider wearing a mask or to be a luchador or
I did.
I asked
We
you that
tried a
question
mask.
on Instagram.
What?
Remember, I asked you that on the Instagram. I was
Yes,
like,
yes, that's right. You have asked me this question. Yes, we tried it and it matched this gear and it was gorgeous, but it just didn't suit me.
Right.
It like, I don't know if it's the way that my head is shaped. I don't know what it was, but it didn't work. So I've experimented with, different, like, how do I set charisma apart as, rather than just being the regular person that you see out on the street. So I've experimented with like face tattoos. I've experimented with just like a face painting. So charisma is still evolving. Charisma is still evolving into, who, I don't know who she's going to be. I don't know who she's going to end up being. I'm still figuring that out, but I'm loving where she's at right now. And I love the process. It's about the journey, not the destination. That's
oh, I
true
just
for us.
loaded it on Instagram right now. I had you.
Yay!
I was too excited. I tagged you in it, so you're going to get a tag.
Awesome. Yes, charisma highlight reel. Go check it out on Instagram.
I got so excited. I was like, I got to do this now. So.
We've got a busy schedule coming up, so there will be more highlights to come in the coming months.
Do you have any news regarding your promotion? You're allowed to announce tonight?
What am I allowed to say? So we actually, like, we're about to dive in full force. We are booked every Saturday starting July 17th, from July through the end of August. We're booked every Saturday. So we're booked every Saturday. We've got bookings a couple of Thursdays throughout July and August with Gordon Biersch again. Those are always super, super fun because the people that come there are just like, they're there to experience the food trucks and try some beer and have a good time.
That's always fun.
That's always fun. So yeah, all throughout July and August is so far is what we have announced upcoming. So stay tuned, because that's not the end. That's just all that's announced.
Yeah. I have an interesting question for you.
Actually, we have a question, Joe, from the audience.
It's not really a question. It's a
how'd you get your name?
It was meant to be a question.
Yeah.
How did I get my name? It's kind of something that just came to me. I love the name. I loved when I started wrestling, like, Karisma just kind of popped into my head as like, hey, this would be a really cool wrestling name. And I was like, but I don't want to spell it the regular way. Like, I don't want somebody to just be like, oh, she's got charisma and it's spelled the same way. So I played it up a little bit and I changed it around, and I didn't know if it would stick. But when I first started performing in ring, somebody comes up to me and goes, how do you want me to announce you? And I said, well, I would love to use the name Karisma. And the person, at first they got it wrong. And the first show that I did, they called me Carissa. But luckily, nobody remembered that. So after that, it was just Karisma just kind of stuck, and I love it, and so I went with it. So it went from Carissa to Karisma, but I don't like, I like Karisma better.
Yeah. So my question is, with the being your husband being a luchador, do they like do people say, oh, I see his face, or is he always going around in a mask? They always say the life of a luchador.
Right. Okay, babe.
I know. I'm just saying.
Anything we post and pictures and stuff is masked.
Yeah.
Sure. And why wouldn't you? Because his mask is gorgeous.
Yeah.
I mean, like this design is just striking.
I'm falling for that mask. I have the King Rey Mysterio one that's in the car. I wear it to work, and I have a lot of people like. I'm standing there walking around work with the two birds and the crown and it's in the car. I was gonna wear it to start the show and then take it off. It was that cool. I'm falling for that mask. If I can reach through the screen, I'll grab that mask. Can I get one of those?
Yeah. It's crazy how much it took off the whole lucha masks thing. I mean, like I've seen people walking down the street by my house, and I'm like, "Whoa, that's our parka mask!" Oh snap! It's just it really like it boomed. It's amazing.
Lance, you need to get on to get some. They have Ultimo Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
They have I have a.
Do they have El Desperado?
No.
El Desperado, you know what El Desperado is, or
we have there's like you said, Ultimo Dragon. There's Roosh. There's Bandito. LA Park. Oh gosh, there's
a bunch of La Parka ones. There's like black.
La Sombra, or
we do have an Idolo mask. Yep, we do have Andrade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have to get on making El Desperado one.
Wonder if he's listening.
El Desperado has to be one right there from New Japan,
Yeah. We have we've done a lot of cool stuff with New Japan and All Japan too. We've actually helped put on New Japan Productions. The G1 show that was here at the Cow Palace in San Francisco. We did we helped a lot with the behind the scenes of that.
That's cool.
Yeah, and the New Japan Showdown here in San Jose, California, we were a part of that. Two of those. Yeah, two or three of those. So, and then All Japan Pro Wrestling held a tryout here at Pro Wrestling Revolution with Jun Akiyama. So, and we had a show out here that was that we had the United States debut of Jun Akiyama.
Oh wow!
So we were very fortunate and lucky to have the connections that we have, and it's opened up a lot of doors for us as a company, for us as wrestlers, and it's just the opportunities are incredible. Like if you had told me that I would have gotten to help with a Will Ospreay meet and greet, I would have told you were crazy.
That's awesome. Yeah,
but the opportunities that we've gotten and the things that we've gotten to do are just like you never would have thought in your lifetime. So very lucky, very exciting.
Yeah.
And we're there's only more to come. Once the pandemic settles down, once the world opens up again, California is supposed to open up again already tomorrow. But once the world opens up, we're excited to get back on the horse and make more opportunities.
Go.
Now again, Joe, I cut you off.
I just hope like when you get more of an opportunity to travel, I hope more indie feds start to call you because, as I said, if you get a chance to travel east, you and your husband definitely have to try to get into the New York Wrestling Connection, NYWC. They are a big boom. They got Zack Ryder, WWE, Kurt Hawkins. They're a big stepping stone, and they're a hidden gem in New York.
Hmm.
You're a big hidden gem, and
Okay.
there's a lot of faces that were there. MJF from AEW.
Oh yeah.
He's-
Will Nightingale is another one. I
Wow.
think she's on AEW Dark.
Okay.
So, a couple others. Well, that Trent Beretta is another one. So,
I'll have to do some more research with this.
Yeah, you're near. It's interesting. We just got we had one of the wrestlers that's in AEW in NYWC. Dickie Rods. He came on our show and we talked for a while.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. Wrestling is a fun thing that me and Geek have been poking and hugging since we met. Me and Geek have known in college. Me and Geek met doing college radio.
Oh.
And I would do the rock. I played all like the rock. Me and Geek would do like countdowns, and then at the end of the show, we would just break down the Attitude Era / Ruthless Aggression Era Raws and Smackdowns.
Mm-hmm.
What we thought, and then Geek got me into watching Ring of Honor. And
yeah, back in 04. I watched
Oh,
Ring
okay.
of we watched Ring of Honor in 04, and we were watching all the VHS tapes, and then I was like, we were hooked on those, and that was before the VHS and DVDs and stuff like that. So
Gosh, I miss those days.
Uh-huh.
And then with me, because I'm such the old school guy, I bring up the old school stuff, like the old Raws or the old pay-per-views that you can't remember, like Backlash, like from '94. Like who was in that one, or like before that, like And I always tell everybody to support your local indie promotion. So if you're out there, anybody out there from her area, just go out there and buy all you can, all the t-shirts from that promotion, and just do what you can and help them out. That's the thing I love doing.
Yeah.
That's one of the things why me and Geek, I suggested to get guests, because I never thought I'd meet you in my wildest dreams, meet an independent wrestler from California. And then I see your clips. I'm like, this girl is awesome. You're like Lita, like the way you jump around and stuff like that.
Oh gosh, I wish.
Yeah, you do the moves like Lita. You do jump around and stuff like that.
Interestingly enough, I didn't even know this, but I just recently I watched. I was on YouTube and like the Bella twins have their YouTube channel, and they had a video of like them watching their first match as like the Bella twins. And all of a sudden out of nowhere I see Nikki Bella do a lucha drag, and I was like, I could do that.
Yeah.
It is fun when you see like wrestlers that you look up to, doing, and you're like, oh, I've done that. Like, I can do that. That's like I told you that AJ Lee is like my idol wrestler. I used the Black Widow as a submission in a match, and doing that, I was like, wow, like this feels really cool. So it's just, but being compared to Lita, like that's an honor. Like, thank you.
She's one of my. Me and Geek used to argue on a daily basis with the Lita Trish thing. He was Trish, I was Lita. I was like, that's Lita, that's my girl. Oh, I remember first time ever seeing her with S.A. Rios. I was like, she's gonna be big.
I'm with you. I'm on Team Lita.
Oh God, forever. Team Hardcore forever. Like Trish is so phony. Lita's like,
I
that's
don't
one
know
of my,
about that.
I don't know.
I'm not gonna badmouth Trish. I
No,
may
I
not
mean, like,
hate
we were
Lita,
joking.
but I'm not gonna badmouth.
I do. Trish was cool because she had her own little thing, but Lita, just the hair and the outfits and the music, that dun dun dun,
Lita was a badass.
all that. Even though when she turned heel on Matt and then did that whole Edge thing, I was like,
Yeah.
character a little bit.
One thing that I have always just like I've looked up to, and maybe this is just because I have never had this happen in the ring during a performance, but like for example, Lita broke her neck in a match and finished the match.
Yeah.
Like how, I mean, I don't think I could do that if my life depended on it. Like that takes balls. Like
Yeah, you have to
that
like,
takes strength. That takes I don't think that all of the adrenaline in my body could make me do that.
yeah, because like you broke your neck, you're not gonna be able to like pop yourself back up. What if like
It's
worse?
not just like you can go like this and then you're good. No.
Yeah, you could do worse.
I look up to wrestlers for their strength so much.
Yeah.
I currently I've been struggling with a shoulder injury, and I it takes a toll on your body. It really does. I mean, I haven't even scratched the surface of being, an in-ring performer, and I've had a concussion, I've had a broken toe, I have separated my shoulder, and now I'm working with a torn labrum. So it takes a toll on your body.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you experience all these injuries and you have all of these issues and you keep going, you keep doing it, once you're healed up, if you get back in that ring and say, okay, I'm ready to try again, like that's how you can tell passion from someone who's doing it, just like a hobby.
Is there a luchador or luchadora that you would like to work with, or?
I mean, like I said, Lady Apache is just, I love her so much. She's been such a mentor to us at Pro Wrestling Revolution, and especially to me as the only active female in Pro Wrestling Revolution. She's a master of holds and submissions. Like you watch her, and I look at her and I'm like, so this hand goes here, and that leg goes there. Like I don't know how. She breaks it down for us, and she's taught us so much. But watching her, you're like, wow, like how, I couldn't have thought of a hold like that if I tried. But she has such a mind for it, and she's so she's so masterful at it. So I would, like I said earlier, I would love to get in the ring with her, whether it's for a one-on-one match or whether it's to team up with her. She's amazing, and I look up to her so much. So that would be an honor.
If you and your husband had kids, what and they want to become wrestlers, what advice would you give them?
And at first, I'd probably tell them the same thing that my parents told me. Wait. No, I mean, I think that would be kind of the part where I would understand my parents' perspective, watching me train, coming home with, bumps and bruises and, broken things and, bumps on the head and concussions. Any parent would worry about their child. But at the same time, I would understand it because I've lived it. So the advice that I would give them is pretty much kind of just, what I just said about the injury piece is like, if you can take every part of this business, the good, the bad, the ugly, the painful, all of it, and you can still get back in the ring and have the time of your life, then that's how you know that this is where you're meant to be. That and the experience piece that I said earlier about, you can have a bad experience, but there's no such thing as bad experience with wrestling. Those would be the top two things that I would tell our kids if they wanted to wrestle. Which, who knows? Knowing me, I would probably be the one saying, "Here, get in the ring, go, go, go."
Yeah.
He's like, here's a hurricane. Here's how you do a hurricane Rana.
Exactly. I'd be like, "Here, watch your dad."
Mommy, did I do it right? No, your leg didn't tip over the head. Your leg went around the other. You go around this way.
Right. And then all of a sudden, they come home from school one night and you say, "Heat night."
It's funny because when I always ask the wrestlers, have they found themselves in the WWE games? And bingo bango, I found you. If you want to find her in WWE 2K19, it's find Karisma. She's in there. Even though she's in the wrong location. But even though that is where your characters in the wrestling thing is from, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
funny story about that. They're not my create. At least I don't think any of them are mine. I don't think I did one myself. But at the beginning of the pandemic, like I said, Pro Wrestling Revolution was trying to find ways to kind of stay relevant and stay at the top of people's minds. So I actually I held a contest that was, it was like #2Karisma. So it was like the K from Karisma is 2K. And it was, make your own creation of Karisma. And the winner, when these masks first came out, the winner got a free Karisma mask and a signed picture. And I think because it was right at the beginning of the pandemic, like it didn't totally take off. But I had a few submissions, and I did, I picked a winner, and the winner got a mask, and so that's why I think there's still a couple on there. I don't know how many there are still on there, but I know that there is one for a PlayStation, and then there's an Xbox version too.
I think I got the PlayStation one, but I changed the hair, and I changed the skirt. Because it's hard to with the skirts. They don't have like a full. Then I was trying to make your full. I'm the type of guy the outfits the perfect way with the shirts and everything. And I know it says a collar on your thing. I was like, dang it, there was no collar.
Yeah. I actually tried to make my own, and I got frustrated. I stopped. I got frustrated. I was like, with the whole like uploading designs thing, I'm not super like I can do social media, but when it comes to being super tech savvy, like, no. I'd rather go, work out than sit in front of a computer. I don't mind playing video games. I can get on and play video games. Doesn't mean I'm good at it, but I do it. It's fun.
I made your moves at Rey Mysterio's. I totally changed your moveset. I was like, I'm making Rey Mysterio because it's high flyer. And actually, when I was telling you I was making you in a match, you won.
Yes.
You gave the person the 619. I was like, wow, I don't think she does the 619.
I don't, but never say never.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say.
He is from San Diego.
Right, he's from California. Yeah.
And his son, oh my gosh, his son's the giantest luchador I've ever seen in my entire life.
I don't even know how old he is, but he literally, he hasn't changed from like when he was a kid to what he looks like now. Like he looks exactly the same, just in a bigger body. I
emailed him to have him come on the show, but
wouldn't that be amazing?
I would. I would be if he came out with his dad, I'd be fanboying because Rey Mysterio is besides my grandfather, Rey Mysterio is like my favorite little man. Like I'm 5'1", he made me feel like big. Anytime I'd see him do something with big guys, I was always like, I could do that. And then when he won the title, my friend had to calm me down because I was like, 619.
What?
It's like, dude,
when he did the frog splash at SummerSlam last year, Dominic, everybody in the there was a meme about that saying that his dad Eddie would be proud.
Oh no! Oh, that's so bad. Yeah, you know what? I saw something like that on Facebook. So I was like,
because he did the frog splash at SummerSlam last year, and so everyone, the comment section, it was a whole meme. It says his dad Eddie would be proud, right in the comments, and the meme. It was funny.
Oh.
But he did his frog splash, so I'm surprised he didn't do the 619 during that match with Rollins.
Yeah.
Probably soon.
Yeah.
He'll come back and give this guy a 619. Watch.
But I can also understand like being a part of a family like that, and also like wanting to set yourself apart a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you. It's like it's like Charlotte. Like you don't want to be you don't want to be remembered as so and so's daughter.
Yeah.
Or so and so's son. You want to be remembered as Charlotte Flair. You want to be remembered as Dominic Mysterio. Like you want to be remembered for you and for your talent.
Yeah.
It helps, but but yeah, and that's I can understand that part.
Like David Finlay, he's like a third generation wrestler, and I think Fit was trying to get him to go to WWE, but I don't know if he's gonna go. Never say never.
Yeah, never say never. There's it's amazing some of the people that have popped up in WWE that like 5 years ago or something you never would have thought. Like I never thought Morrison was going to come back to WWE. Never. I didn't think it, but but I love it. I love Mrs. Morrison. I think it's
so funny.
They're so funny. They're entertaining.
I like the joking. Like if you thought it was, you'd be correct. I love that.
The
hey hey ho ho is great.
Yes, that's just what I was gonna say. Like the music and the music videos, like it's so over the top, but it's so over. It's just it's hilarious.
I actually liked it at WrestleMania when they were trying to make fun of Bad Bunny. With the bunnies. With the bunnies, yeah, the bunnies at WrestleMania. I thought that was clever to get me.
And then there's like one bunny that only had one ear or something. No. But it's funny as hell. I mean, shoot, Karrion Kross.
Yeah.
Like, wow. Like, what a dominant force. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. My husband and I watched we haven't watched the whole show yet, but we watched the main event from
the main event was great, by the way.
Last night. Did you watch it?
Yeah, the main event was great, by the way, last night.
It was amazing.
They really put the spotlight on Karrion Kross last night, so they're making it like the big deal.
At the same time, it's like, okay, if you can put him in a 5-way and still have him win, like, then you better come up with somebody epic that's to
beat him.
Take the title off him someday.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like whoever takes that title off him is going to have to be somebody epic, because if you're in a 5-way and you still win and retain, like that's like no mames. Like how do you? Oh gosh, he's such a dominant force. And what is her name now in NXT? Frankie Monet,
Taya,
yeah.
right?
I didn't. I mean, it makes sense now that Morrison's come along. But her work in Mexico, just she's one that I've actually looked to as far as trying to be bilingual, like with working on my promos and working on bilingual promos in English and Spanish. She's an example that I've always loved to watch. Our trainer has turned me on to some of her promos, and I'm like,
that's
wow.
what I was going to ask you. Like being in like a company that I don't know if a lot of the like being a person that speaks English, is it like harder to like work with certain wrestlers in your company that like if they don't like have a lot of Spanish dialect? But
right. So I'm very lucky in that I took Spanish as a kid and up through like my sophomore year of high school, and I actually am now I'm going back to school. I'm taking college classes in Spanish just to like refresh, because working in a predominantly lucha libre company, like I'm gonna need it.
Yeah,
I'm definitely gonna need it. There's definitely there's ways to communicate. If you are good at what you do, then the language should kind of be universal. And especially with working in the ring. Like we've had so many lessons from from multiple trainers that are just, like, you should be able to feel what you're doing. You should be able to feel where your opponent is going with a certain move. You should be able to feel, your opponent should be able to feel where you're going, without having to call everything in the back beforehand. But I think I'm definitely at an advantage with the language. Also, with my husband being Spanish, as his first language, and my mother-in-law does not speak a darn bit of English. So I've had to learn in order to be able to communicate with my own family. So I'm hoping that will give me, kind of a leg up.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I was like, wait a second. I was like thinking, I was like, I better ask that question, but I don't want to sound like I'm being insulting or anything.
No. I mean, I'm sure it helps to be able to, have that advantage of knowing some Spanish and being able, at least knowing enough to be able to communicate. So by experience, I can't really speak to not having trouble communicating with someone, because I've been fortunate enough to learn myself.
What's your favorite match you had?
I'd say that one for my dad. Favorite would be that one. Like I said, I think, how did I say it? The one that we had in February of 2020, I would say that was my best match, my best performance. But I think that the match that we held for my dad was my favorite. Yeah.
After watching that video that everybody's gonna see when they get off back on Instagram, and I'll post it on Facebook too, so everybody can see. I'll post it on the Dudes That page. Actually, have you liked the Dudes at Ringside page on Facebook yet?
What?
We have a page on Facebook. So when you get on,
that's actually what I used to send to all my friends and family to be like, hey, watch us on Facebook Live.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if you knew about that.
Yes.
We also have Twitch too. Twitch, Facebook,
Spotify.
I think I have a friend or two watching on Twitch. Hopefully.
Hey Twitch.
Hey Twitch.
I always used to joke with my friends back in the day, Twitch is such a horrible name. They could have thought of something else.
I mean, it's catchy.
Yeah.
I mean, when you say Twitch, everyone knows what you're talking about.
Yeah,
so,
Twitch.
There's that. I mean, they did something right.
I kind of wish that when Geek was setting this up. I wish he was even he thought this, man, we couldn't set it up with Instagram and have be alive on Instagram, but that Instagram's weird. Someone wants to request in, they could just pop into the show.
Actually not really, because it's not on, we're not streaming from Instagram, we're streaming from StreamYard actually.
Oh yeah.
So we're not streaming from Instagram, we're streaming from StreamYard. It would be just broadcasting it to Instagram.
Yeah, because I noticed that when you go live on Instagram, there's like that thing that people can come in if you let them in, and you never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah. I didn't know that actually. Like I've seen like I joined like celebrity live videos. You know, like I think I was watching one of the Backstreet Boys the other day, and it was like, join this person's video, and I was like, I can do that. how can I just randomly like join this person's Instagram live video? Like why is that allowed?
That's what me. That's how we got Stevie Ray to come on our podcast, because I was in my room one day, just sitting there, and I was just like oh, Stevie Ray's live. So I went in, I pushed requests, and all of a sudden my screen of my phone goes black. I'm like, oh, my phone just died. And then buffer, and there's Stevie Ray sitting in his thing, sitting next to the microphone, like, hello, how you doing? And I'm just like,
oh my.
Hi, how are you, Stevie? What's going on? We started talking, and I asked him, what are your advices for a new podcast? Because me and my bud asked me, and he just started like doing random stuff, and he's like, just get your name out there, man. Get yourself on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram.
Knocking stuff over.
And now we're on everything.
That's amazing.
And he came on the podcast. I think he was like our second episode. He came on, and he did not want to talk about wrestling. It was so weird.
You're like, but that's why we're here.
Yeah, that's why we're here.
He's a super cool guy, though.
Oh, super cool guy. Super nice. He made us our first promo like that. But I say, since I've been asking wrestlers after they officially like come on the show, asking wrestlers to do their own promos on their own time in their own location, so much cooler. Because you know what it does also, since this pandemic, and you guys have not been some wrestlers haven't been wrestling, this helps them with their mic skills.
Yes.
That's why in my head, after I do that, like a few days ago, I was going, you know what? I think we're really helping them with their mic skills.
Yeah.
Fighting with the camera. Like,
yeah. You know, that's so funny that you say that, because I was, when I was recording the promos for you all, when we were shut down during the pandemic, actually, we did Zoom training. So we actually like did our trainings on Zoom, and we would do things like review matches and go over like psychology, ring psychology, work on promos and character development. And we did a huge chunk of time on promos. And I noticed when I recorded my promos for this podcast that one of them came out we worked on 15-second, 30-second, and 1-minute promos. And I noticed that just by chance, the two promos that I recorded for you guys, the first one, the long one, was 30 seconds. And the second one, the shorter one, was 15 seconds. Wow. And I sent our trainer a message, and I was like, you know what? At least this stuck.
Yeah. Did you send them? Did you send them to him so he could see them?
I'm sure he sees them on social media, because we all have. That was another thing that we worked on during the pandemic, was creating social medias and like posting pictures, taking pictures. We actually made skits and stuff, but we did it all like remotely. So we'd have to film different parts and send them to one another and compile them together.
I saw that.
It's, oh my gosh. Did you saw one of our skits? I think one of
them. Yeah, so it was the dance contest.
Dance off, yes.
I saw that one. That one was funny.
Yes. So that's my husband.
Okay, that was him. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so we did all kinds of stuff during the pandemic over Zoom, virtually. And then when you guys asked me to come on here and I did those promos, I was like, oh, there's that skill that we learned.
I was telling this to Geek. I said, I swear, Karisma is going to be the first and only guest that goes all out for the show. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, have you seen any other promos coming in on your cell phone yet? Because Geek just officially is co-mod now. I let him. I gave him. I was like, it's blah 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 blah. And now he got Bad Bones from Germany's. Was it Germany? Geek.
Germany.
Got the Germany promo today. He got Razor's promo from London, England today.
Before you.
What's that?
Before you even saw them.
Yeah.
Joe was working, unfortunately.
I was like food stocking shelves. And I'm like, I got home and I'm like, what?
Yep.
But
yeah, I'm so happy that you like, as you said, if you're going to be on the show, you got to help out. You gave us a big whoop. It's like, yes.
Yeah, every single day you were like counting it down, saying it's like 10. It's like 10 more days, 7 more days, 8 more days. So what was the idea behind that?
What?
What was the idea behind that?
I mean, I feel like as it is, like independent wrestlers, like we have to work hard to get noticed and for credibility. And so if you want people to care about you and who you are, if you want people to get invested in you, like if you want the work that you're doing to pay off for someone who's watching you, like why wouldn't you put yourself out there? Like why wouldn't you promote yourself? Why wouldn't you promote the things that you're doing and the shows that you're on or the podcasts that you're on? Like if you want to be relevant and you want people to care about who you are and what you're doing, then you have to make that happen. Like it's not up to anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's your job as a wrestler.
Uh-huh.
Like we're entertainers, so it's our job to entertain. And the way you're not going to entertain anybody by just sitting behind a phone. You have to
definitely not
put yourself out there and communicate with people, like not just answering a couple of emails, like actually engaging with people who message you on Instagram, actually doing live podcasts, actually doing Facebook lives and Instagram lives. For a while during the pandemic, I was doing what I called charismatic workouts, and I was actually like doing workouts on Instagram with live. It's like if you don't put yourself out there, like how are you going to get the word out
to the big guys, right?
Yeah,
so
like I said, that our trainer tells us, like closed mouths don't get fed.
No,
like you have to put in the work to get noticed. So that's what I'm doing.
Exactly. And I don't want to shout out any names, but I just want to shout out one guy. His name's Mr. Fail Druid. He actually said, I was actually texting with him, and he's a big time gamer, and he said he's like this person who's coming on your podcast is absolutely awesome for promoting herself.
Oh,
by the way, so I'm sorry I had to shout you out there. Thanks so much, by the way.
No, that oh gosh, thank you. It's it feels like it's my duty. Like I mean, not necessarily that I like feel obligated to do it, but it's like it's a responsibility. Like to get people to care, you have to put yourself out there. And it's such a like I've been on, what did I say? I've been on one other podcast before. And so to be asked to be on a podcast, like that's not only does that show that you're doing something right as far as putting yourself out there, but that's somebody else putting themselves out there and putting their show on the line to help you get your name out. Like I appreciate you guys for asking me to come on, because like I said, you bridge all of these wrestlers from across the world. And like I said, I never would have known about an Australian luchador if it weren't for your podcast. So, you know, it makes me appreciative for guys like you two who, you know, and everybody who works on your podcast. You know, just it's hard being an independent wrestler. And so we got to do everything we can to really pack a punch and put on a show for the world.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. But I'm so, you know, like I said, when I first came on here tonight, I was like, I'm like getting home from work, and I'm like, I think I was messaging Joe, and I'm like, I'm a little bit nervous. He's like,
You're doing
no,
fine to
we'll
be on.
just, you know, we'll hang out, we'll chat, it'll be casual, it'll be fine. And I, you know, this has been super duper fun. So
told
thank
you.
you.
I
I
told
know
you.
you told me.
You said you want to go only an hour. Look what we're going now. We're going an hour and 40
We're going
minutes.
on 2 hours. Yeah. No, and
So,
I mean, I only said an hour because I'm like, my day job kicks my butt.
Yeah.
You know, that's another thing, being an indie wrestler. It's like, you know, it's, you don't make a living off of being an indie wrestler. So that just shows even more how much passion indie wrestlers have for this business. The fact that, you know, they go work a 9 to 5 and then an hour later get in the ring and train for 2-3 hours, or, you know, go straight from their, you know, they work a graveyard shift and then go straight to do a show on a Saturday afternoon. It just, you know, but it's so worth it, not just from a performer standpoint, but from a spectator, you know, and a fan standpoint. You know, we're pretty cool. I'd say we're pretty awesome.
Well, I have an interesting question for you. Have you ever been recognized in person, like out in the grocery store with your husband? Like you're walking around and they go, "Oh my God, there's Karisma."
Actually, so the first time I ever got recognized was actually when I was still ring announcing, and somebody came. I was out to breakfast with my family, and somebody recognized me and was like, "Hey, you're the ring announcer for Pro Wrestling Revolution." I was like, "Yeah, I am." But I actually had a child. I was at a barbecue over the weekend with our head trainer, and I think it was like his little niece comes up and to her cousin, our trainer's daughter, and was like, "Is that the pink girl? Like the pink girl that wrestles?" And she was like, yeah, go say hi. And she comes up and she's just like, her eyes were huge. Like, I mean, she's like 4 years old. Or like, I've had, you know, these little fans that are like, I think I have a picture of a little, like, not even maybe 2-year-old girl. And she's holding a sign that says Karisma's #1 fan. It's just, oh gosh, it's so cute.
That's beautiful.
It's so adorable. But let's see, where was I? I think I was out at like an outdoor, like a strip mall or something in Fremont. And somebody was like, "Hey, don't you, like, do you wrestle?" And I was like, "Yes, actually I do." And I told them like who I was, and they were like, "Oh yeah, you were at that one show, like in Fremont, you were in that one show." And I was like, yeah, that's me. So the first time that I ever got recognized like as a wrestler, that was an amazing feeling. But you know, the piece that warms my heart the most is like the little girls that get, you know, invested, and they see this girl dancing around and prancing around in, you know, pink and sparkles and little ponytails. And that's what I love, is, you know, being someone that these little girls can be like, wow, that's cool, or wow, I want to be like her, or being a role model is a big responsibility, but if I can show a girl, that they can do this too, then that makes me happy.
Do you have an inspiration for your character, or?
So yes, actually, we used kind of an anime inspiration. So growing up, I was a big Sailor Moon fan.
I was gonna say that. I had that weird feeling about the outfit. I was like,
Yep. Well, so that's good. That's exactly what that's the route that we were going. So I'm glad that that's what that sparked for you. Yes, I was a huge Sailor Moon fan growing up.
I'm sure the mod was too.
So that's been kind of the inspiration for the gear, and yeah, I'm working to kind of find ways that I can, make it a little more like the song that I used for the video, Hello Kitty by Avril Lavigne. Like she says, the beginning part is Japanese. The first words that are in the song are Japanese. Kawaii is like cool, or in Japanese. So being that Japanese, has such a big influence in wrestling, to be a character in the States that brings that extra part into the culture piece, as well as being a luchadora, I wanted to eat that up. Like, I thought that was super cool. But yeah, Sailor Moon is what's your favorite anime? Sailor Moon was literally like it for me, growing up. But my husband, Gavilan, is a big, anime guy, and he is really into, One Piece. So I've been watching that with him. And some of those characters in that show are so like over the top and ridiculous to me that I can't stop watching.
There's one I think he may like, but I don't know if you may not like it. He may like it.
What is that?
Older one. It's called Fist of the North Star.
I haven't heard of that. But
that one's like a karate. It's almost like a Street Fighter thing.
Okay.
And one of the guys does this move that he hits you. He kills the guy. He hits him in every pressure point. And the guy goes, and his eyes just pop. And
like I just did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just explodes.
Oh my gosh.
It's one of those graphic animes.
I was gonna say that sounds like something like out of like Mortal Kombat or something.
Yeah, but he gets like and it's just so funny because I would walk in as like my old friend, my friend Tom would be watching it, and he was like, and then I was like, he gets backed up, and it's just like, ooh. I'm like, you dead.
Tell me again what it's called.
Fist of the North Star.
Fist of the North Star. Okay, I got the North Star part, but I didn't catch the beginning.
They had it on Cartoon Network a few times, like After Dark.
Oh, so, okay.
Yeah. But they show the cool parts because it was After Dark, but still.
Back when the show, all the good shows were on Cartoon Network.
Yeah. You a fan of Rick and Morty or?
Not a fan, but I've seen it. Like I've watched it.
I got him into the whole series.
Oh God!
That's how you.
So I came over and we started watching Rick and Morty. I'm like, oh God, here we go.
And then he started laughing. He's like, dude, this is the funniest show ever.
It is funny. Like it's crude humor, but
yeah,
but it's funny.
It's stupidly smart in a way because like how like it's like some of the stuff that they get away with in that show. It's like I feel like. Wow, where did they come up with this stuff?
Yeah, but it's one of those things that like really makes you be like, oh, like you really you think it through. You're like, would this be? Is this
just the stuff they do?
Oh, that's funny. Okay, I have a question for you both.
Okay.
What?
Who is, I guess I feel bad for asking you, like, who's your favorite, but who is one of your top or, like, favorite wrestlers that you've had on your podcast?
On the podcast? You go first, Geek.
To be honest, that's a really tricky question because you know why? I don't want to I don't want to piss anybody off, but
that's why
but I absolutely loved everybody that came on our podcast for completely different reasons. Everyone had a different flavor to put in our podcast, so I loved every single one of our guests on our podcast.
And that's the right answer.
like they would tell different. Some guests would tell different stories. Other guests would do other things. It was like, so everybody was basically different. So some guests were funny, some were serious, Every guest had their own flavor on everything. So it's if you could tell me who is your favorite guest, it's very hard to pick a guest because they're all different. So I don't know about Joe though.
Like for me, our first Thursday guest was this girl from London, England named Kiara, and pretty much we didn't get her like we got you. She messaged us and said, the person that I was supposed to do my podcast canceled on me. Can I come on your show? And I was like, what day? I felt like I was screaming. I'm like, what day are we talking about? Question. Thinking emoji. I didn't do that. I was like, what kind of? And she's like, Thursday. And I immediately put the phone down and called like Geek. I'm like, are we available on Thursday? He's like, yeah, why? And I'm like, I have a girl from England named Kiara wants to talk to us.
I love that name, by the way.
Oh, she's a gem. You would love Kiara. She's a super sweetheart. Super like, darling. She calls people. She has the British like, hello there, darling.
Joe, she's asking you who your favorite guest is.
Favorite Thursday guest was Kiara because she was our very first ever Thursday guest.
Okay.
And my favorite like male guest would have to be Stevie Ray because he got us in the door with the wrestlers trusting us and knowing that we're not a bunch of little. Well, you can curse on the show. They know we're not a bunch of creepy schmucks that just want to sit and stare at people on the internet.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. Those are both fair answers.
Yes, and he's a legend. Stevie Ray, Harlem Heat. Like 10-time tag team champion.
You could have turned us down and said no. I don't want to do it.
I go on people's podcasts. I can't do that for you. But he saw something in me. Knew that I'm not a little weirdo. A little as what's his name? Becky Lynch say, we're not a little weirdo.
I love her, by the way. She is Becky Lynch is somebody that I've been looking up to lately with regards to, because, like you said, like someday my husband and I are going to have kids, and I would love for wrestling not to be over for me just because I have kids. And she and I mean, gosh, all these females come back, after having children and are a part of the wrestling business. I mean, like Becky Lynch is still like, she's not back, but I don't know if you've seen pictures of her like on Instagram. Like she looks amazing for having just had a baby in December. Like, holy smokes. Brie Bella having,
both of them.
Both of them, yes, this is true. But Brie actually came back after baby. Nikki, we have yet to see.
There's rumors that they're gonna come back soon.
There's rumors, but I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, I keep seeing the rumors that she's gonna return. They're gonna return. Actually, I didn't realize I was on the Dudes That page when I was doing it, and they were like, "Do you want to see Nikki and Brie come back?" And I went, "No," and then everybody was like, "Dude."
Oh, Joe.
Oops.
It's like a big hey. I was like, delete the comment, ruining the reputation.
Does that warrant a you effed up chant?
Yeah. Big time.
At least it tells you who posted it from the Dudes That page, so they know it's not me.
Okay. Yeah.
So I won't be getting the hate, but Joe will.
I delete the comment as soon as I don't curse on there. I just say no or no.
Oh no. But yeah, I just, I'm very inspired by, the women who have gone and become moms and come back. And I hope that that can be me someday. And then I'll, eventually I'll throw my kids in the ring too.
I know you said that. I know you said you didn't have you was a wrestling fan growing up, but did you have a favorite mask from a luchador or a
favorite mask?
Yeah.
Ooh.
You got it, Geek.
That's a damn good question. I really like La Sombra.
The Sombra's mask.
I really do. I really, really do. Oh gosh. I mean, there's so many also that are just like, they're not like, it's not intricate and it's not, any crazy designs, but they're just so iconic that you're drawn to them. I mean, Silver King, God rest his soul.
Yeah.
That everybody
Bandito
knows those masks. Bandito, Blue Demon, like those masks are just so iconic that you're drawn to them. But yeah, I would say if I had to pick a favorite, it would be La Sombra.
Sombra.
Yeah. I mean, after my husband.
Yeah, I was
obviously, I was going to say that.
After my husband, but I didn't want to come across as biased.
Yeah.
But
it's family comes first,
Right. Exactly. But I'll when we come back and have another conversation in December, I'll have him on here and I'll have to ask him, I'll have to say, like, which one is your favorite mask?
Which besides yours?
Well,
besides yours, obviously.
Yeah. But no, I mean, like, have him come on wearing, like, whichever of his masks is the favorite, because he has got different. He's got different colors and stuff.
I love seeing different color masks because there's a guy coming on our show Thursday. He's a luchador, of course, and his mask he uses like a blue. I'm posting the clip tomorrow. He's coming on Thursday, so I live with my parents, and like my dad follows the dudes at page, and he gets so mad because sometimes, if you probably saw, I used to post every day, or the same day 3 posts, and my dad was like, 1. He would be drinking his coffee, eating his crackers. That's what he does in the morning, and then he'd be like 1 on his iPad, 2, 3. He's looking at me. 1. Geek knows this. He's like 2.
Like his whole feed is filled up with you.
Yes. He's like, good dude. Now he's the new rule is post 1 or 2.
Yeah, right.
I'm like,
You're like, you wish.
I want the fans. The reason why I did this, I want the fans excited every week. They want to come back and see.
Yeah.
Oh, Karisma's coming back.
Yeah.
Oh, she'll be back in December.
Yeah.
So if you have any
birthday.
Yeah, oh my God, I can't wait to promote that with you. Like, oh my God, come on, guys, it's my birthday.
Yes, and by then we'll have a couple more shows under our belts, so I can post even more highlights and do some more promoting, for some of our shows and what's coming up. And
yes,
now that we're going to be starting in July, we're going to be back in action. So we usually take December off. For like the holiday season, but we're already, like, by December we're already gearing up for what's coming in the new year. So I'm sure that even like December.
Look who came into the comments. Wait,
I don't see it.
Lance,
highlight it.
Oh,
yeah.
Look at that.
Go to bed. We have class.
Go to bed.
I have what's his name? Is it
Gabriel?
Gabriel, I have my friend Valor Club guy got me your mask for my birthday. He got me the it's I'm on the spot now. Yeah. I got your mask, and
he's trying to tell you how to pronounce your name. Gabriel.
Gabriel.
Yeah,
I'm trying to see if he could have did my grandfather's one, but I know he's extremely busy.
Look, there's my husband.
Yeah.
Because I'm hogging the room.
I've been like, I wish that he could have did my grandfather's, but he's extremely busy doing all the other masks. So I was like,
gosh, and like I said, it's just amazing what it turned into. Like, it started with just a couple of they just said, "Oh, you're the one."
Yeah, that's me.
You're like, hi. Yeah, like I
or
said,
sorry.
It started with literally just some masks.
Good answer, hero.
Like just masks that said pro wrestling revolution or and things like that on it, and then it just boomed.
Yes,
it's just
it is late here too in New York too.
It is. It's like 1 a.m. for you guys.
It's one.
That's oh gosh, I'm coming out to. I have family in Ohio, and I'm coming out in a few weeks here, and oh gosh, that time change is just it's murder to me. Mm-hmm. I'm in bed by 7 o'clock.
I was gonna make one, but Karisma said no.
Okay. Okay. This is my trader telling. This is literally like busted for being up at 10 o'clock when I have to get up at 6 in the morning and work a 9 to 5 and then come to training right after.
Me and him have work tomorrow too, and it's like 1 in the morning, right?
Well, I was gonna say, if he could, I wish say he is wrestling related. He could sponsor our show. We could talk about you guys so much.
Oh,
would love to have you guys sponsor our show. You could be our first sponsor. That's the coolest thing ever. I would love to have Gabriel as our sponsor. I'd be like so honored because the stuff he does for the lucha community, my grandfather would have been proud.
I'm sure your grandfather's proud anyway.
I keep the name alive. He passed away before I was born, so the spirit of the Panther lives forever.
Exactly.
The mod's like saying, yes, it's 1 a.m. here.
People are like, can you guys stop so I can go to bed? Like people that are watching, they're like, can you stop so I can go to bed?
You can watch the rest tomorrow, you guys.
Go watch the rest. I've actually got, even some of my coworkers over here, they're like, it's past my bedtime, but can I catch a replay?
Yes, you can go.
Like, dude, it's 9 o'clock.
Who could sponsor? Yeah, somebody could sponsor dudes, right?
We're always looking for a sponsor. We're new, but we well, even if we have like a mask that I could wear the masks around our necks throughout the show and then put them on at the end of the show.
and Gabriel saying, please send all inquiries to Karisma right now.
No, wait just a dang second.
Retro Roach.
Retro.
That's like my favorite thing to say during the show. Retro Roach. When something goes wrong, like that. Oh no, mine's Retro Roach.
Oh jeez. Oh my gosh.
They want to see a mask now, right?
They want to see the Karisma mask, or
I have to run to the car. I have to run upstairs.
I mean,
there we go.
There's a Karisma mask right there. Are those available now, or those are sold out?
I think I haven't checked since we started, and we talked about it earlier. But there's like 2 left.
Yeah.
Last time I checked, there were like 2 left.
So you have
go get them.
Yeah, 60 seconds.
Lucha-masks.com. You have 60 seconds. This website will self-destruct in 60 seconds.
What is this? What's it? Ed 209. You have 60 seconds to comply.
So yes, we have some. There's some stock left on lucha-masks.com. There's still a ton of
50 seconds.
Super cool stuff. I know. 50 seconds. The countdown. Where's that?
It's like the countdown. It's like the countdown to the show again, all over again. It's like one more day, guys. Let's go. All right.
Oh dear.
Oh no! There's the countdown. He's counting it down now.
Is he still going?
Yep, get up there.
30.
30.
We forgot the 20.
Are we gonna have to get off the air? Or
I
she?
know,
She?
right? Is that going to be like the cut?
Is he? He's like dad, so he's like telling you to go to bed.
Yes. It's like this podcast will self-destruct in 10 seconds.
My laptop now, my baby.
Yeah. Yes,
this-
that
this-
is, but and it's really true. Like,
Boom! There goes your sponsorship.
oh,
Oh no!
Hey, like I said, windows of opportunity.
We
Yeah.
ruined it, Joe. We ruined
Yes,
it, right?
boy.
Oh, right.
But yeah, I mean it's true. Like you just said about the father figure thing. Like Gabe, is a father to all of us. We're all his little babies. So I'm not at all surprised that he's sitting here saying, "Go to bed."
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, by the way, in the comments. Lucha, and luchamask.com. You could definitely advertise for us anytime.
Yes,
by the way.
lucha-mask.com. Go, there. Hopefully, there's still two.
Does he have
Karisma masks
T-shirts?
left.
We'll wear one of his T-shirts throughout the show if he has T-shirts.
You know what? If you go on there, we're actually making they're like jerseys. They're like or they're shirts made of like the jersey material, and they have a built-in mask.
I saw that.
Yes.
Saw that. It was kind of cool.
Those are super cool. We've been like we use those when we train. And it's just gosh. There's a lot of cool stuff on there. It's not just face covers.
I love the music.
Remember, mask.com.
Lucha-mask.com.
Gotta practice that lad.
Where the dudes at ringside could have a pizza party with a Lucha Pizza party. Lucha Pizza podcast, right?
On December 10th for Karisma's 30th birthday.
Yes.
Lucha Pizza podcast.
Day ever. And we could even bring special guests if you want. We could bring in like some of your friends. You give the code in, we'll have like a bunch of your Lucha friends come in
For a little bit.
Yeah, for a little bit, like come hang out and like you can have your friend the champion, have her come in and have like.
Oh gosh, lady, I miss her. I love her so much.
She's not from here, or is she like?
No, she lives in Mexico.
That'd be even cooler. She has stories from the ring. I love
Suddenly the coolest factor just went like here.
Yeah, even cool. Boom, boom, boom.
Oh my gosh, that would be
so cool. I'm so happy you came on our podcast.
Oh my gosh, this has been so much fun. I appreciate you guys for giving me a voice, for giving independent wrestlers a voice. And like I said when I came on here, I was like, this is only my second podcast. Like, what do I say?
To be honest, me and Joe started this podcast just talking about Raw, and then all of a sudden, as we start and SmackDown, and we started getting. Then you know what? We ditched the Raw report, and we just started talking to guests, and the format of the podcast changed. And I'm like, I kind of like this. I kind of actually like this format a lot better than talking about Raw and saying, I think we're going to talk about Raw today. But
well, I'm glad for that, because when you said 8 o'clock my time, 11 o'clock your time, it's after Raw, but it's after Raw for you. I still have not gotten a chance to watch yet. It hasn't aired it's airing on the West Coast right now, so I was like,
we haven't talked about Raw in like 2 months, Joe? How long?
Oh,
2 months.
So
we've been just having guest after guest every single
That's awesome.
I went on this rant a few weeks ago that I thought I would never go on about how horrible I think Raw and SmackDown is, and I think they need to pick up their game. I was that's Yeah, I was into zealous there.
That's a whole nother conversation. We'd probably be on here for another 2 hours if we started that conversation.
My dad will be out in the morning going, Randy, why are you still looking at your laptop? Oh, we're still talking.
We're still chatting about Raw and SmackDown.
Randy, you got it. You have to do laundry.
I know.
I think this podcast has been longer than Dickie Rod's.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, 2 minutes and wow.
It's yeah. And you said you only want to go an hour. That's it.
I know. Originally, I was like, I gotta go to bed, and then and now my trainer is on here telling me you gotta go to bed.
Well, if you gotta go, we totally understand. Have more fun in December.
Yes, we will absolutely pick up this conversation and more in December. And
thanks so much for coming on, by the way.
I'm excited to celebrate my birthday with you all. Thank you so much for having me. This has been a blast, and thank you for what you do. And like I said, follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Karisma PWR. Follow.
She said 2 minutes over.
2 minutes over. Wait, people keep track.
Yeah.
Keep up with Pro Wrestling Revolution on Facebook, on Instagram. We have a lot of great things coming up as our, pandemic comeback unfolds. So keep an eye out.
Thanks so much for coming on, by the way.
Thank you both. Thank you, Geek. Thank you, Joe.
All right.
That was cool.
That was a cool interview.
That was cool. So I can't wait to have her come back in December, fans. Just remember that. Mark your calendars. December. Wait, go to my calendar. December. Just remember,
she's an awesome guest.
Yes. Just remember, December 10th at 11 o'clock.
Uh-huh.
She'll be back.
All right. So
just remember, as I always say,
December 10th.
Yes.
December 10th at 11 o'clock. So
yes.
All right. So all right. And you want to say the goodbyes, Joe?
Say support your local wrestling. 10th, yes. December 10th. Yeah, we were right. Yeah. December 10th. Right. It's in the private chat. December, remember to support your local wrestling. Support our friends' wrestling page. If you show it again, Geeky. If you can't find it, that's fine. Uh-huh. Support the wrestling mask page. It really helps, and a lot of cool masks you can get, like COVID masks. And remember, support your local wrestling federation. Go buy a local wrestling shirt. Buy one of their shirts. It really helps. It really helps them, and it keeps the feet above water. They're struggling right now, even though there's like not really much crowd. But if they are, watch. Go on YouTube and look them up. You may be able to find something like that. And at the closing, Geeks, say goodbye.
All right. I just want to thank everybody, especially people in the UK, for staying up extra late. It's what time right now? 4 a.m. right now?
Probably
so I just wanted 4 a.m. Wow. So we're up late. It's like 1:13 right now. We're going to start wrapping it up. So I just want to thank everyone for staying up late. Like I said, you can always donate to us at http streamlabs.com/dudes at ringside, http/dudes at ringside. And thanks to all the ringside crew for everybody.
And as I always say, thank you to my grandfather, Jose Quinones. Thank you to my cousin, Pete Sanchez. And thank you to my uncle's godfather, Frank Martinez, the Blue Demon, for lighting the way for all Latino wrestlers. See you Thursday for the last day of Lucha Week. See you later, everybody.